paper anymore of what,
Okay.
I just went on
Sure.
space and I,
No
I
problem.
like everything digital because I have more. I don't know, reading.
It's so funny.
This, everybody was on that side, and this is unbalanced.
Thank you.
And these, take one and pass them on. I already got mine.
What are we doing? What are we doing? I got it.
And I don't.
Thank you.
I didn't realize these.
Yeah, they're
nice
to keep paper in.
I think I'm gonna lock it. Maybe like a piece of chocolate from Marco's daughter's.
These are not the most fun chairs. You can kind of fall through. They're
Sarah, Searle, S-A-R-L-E.
Did you already split them up or?
No.
Okay,
I
so you gotta
did them
take one of each.
one more.
Oh, kid, are you talking?
I'm talking to my camera.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Camera just crap out of me.
I wonder what it was too.
I think I broke it and sprained it at me.
Or I just turned it off, which
That's the technical reason. It was out there.
yeah, sure.
The only reason I know how to pronounce
Every sentence, whatever it is. Okay, I can do that. Fran, hi.
My favorite.
Where are you? I'm right here. Am I right here? Do you want to be? Sure.
She wants to be as far off the camera as possible.
Who, me? Are you kidding?
I saw you.
I want to be right mid-center.
So you look at this so shy.
Are we on yet? I mean, like,
There's the carpeting.
are we live?
Not yet.
Sorry, everybody. We're in practice mode. Let's see how long it is. Don't. Maybe touch it. There we go. Full house tonight. Wow. All right, do it. Want to touch anything?
Hello, good, you?
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
I found out who, Foxy.
Yeah.
The garden club
Oh, yeah?
has a problem.
Oh, boy.
With the left-hand side of it.
Okay.
So I told them to talk to you,
Thank
because
you.
I don't want to be the third party. Whatever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, have her talk to me, and then if I can't help her, then she'll come to you guys.
Well, she hasn't called you yet.
You know, I did the same thing as the county and said, well, this one, I
You
didn't
know,
know.
really.
so.
What's the issue?
She got,
That's when you
for
start
lack of a
counting
better
3
word,
times.
really tired from that thing. Shit canned for,
Channing, if you go.
she did stuff with the kids. She
Already done.
was hired.
Yeah, okay, I know her. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she was doing
longtime public services librarian Sharon Janis has announced her retirement effective May 24th. Sharon has worked at the PIL for over 30 years and is currently the heart of our public services department at the main library, keeping us organized and focused on customer service and helping every patron. She is the coordinator of our Conversation Circle English language learning program and home delivery program. I wish Sharon the best of luck in this next stage in her life and cannot thank her enough for her years of dedication and passion for our library and patrons. Due to scheduling conflicts, it has been quite some time since I'm interested in all staff training. I'm requesting this evening your approval of a late 1 p.m. opening for all 3 locations on Tuesday, June 20th, to allow for our next all staff training. Building additional areas of the West Branch roof, the flat area above the children's room entrance and play area were found by the facilities department to need repairing, and this flat roof will be repaired this month. And then the boiler pump at the West Branch is also being repaired in-house. The conversion of all South Branch lighting to LEDs begins later this month. The facilities department shared with me that these lights come with 4 brightness settings, and we will choose the setting that is warmer and most conducive to reading and studying. And I've accepted the proposal for a full appraisal for insurance reasons from the Winston Art Group, and we'll be meeting soon with their New England area director to make further plans. Programs and initiatives. Senior Children's Librarian Jenny Usovitz reports that she has booked 3 art therapy programs for children with art relief in the spring. There will be another Baby Wiggle program here and 2 at the West Branch. Summer reading supplies have been ordered. Little Groove, Baby Wiggle, the Pajama Story Time, and Alex's monthly craft program have been successful new programs. She is looking forward to setting up family literacy kits and family literacy programming soon, and expanding the world language section with the grant from Gateways to Reading, which we received last year. Senior Teen Librarian Allison Bridgewater reports that the teen department is kicking off the mental health and wellness series this month. They will have yoga classes twice a month, a baking demonstration given by mental health advocate in April, postponed for March, a bullet journaling class in April, and the taco volunteers will help us make DIY wellness kits that will start giving out next week. Kits will contain materials to make things like stress balls, mini Zen gardens, and eye pillows. Senior Technology Librarian Yunnan Kuo purchased a new printer for the South Branch, replaced the public printer with the new one, and also added wireless printing at the South Branch. Senior Adult Services Librarian Gabby Toth reports that Harvard professor Theo Harris will return in April to discuss 2 Shakespeare plays. Senior West Branch Librarian Amory Thomas reports that she has scheduled cupcake decorating with a local bakery, and Ask a Muslim Anything group discussion, a cooking demonstration, realtor talks on how to downsize, and hopefully hearing testing being scheduled for the next couple months. AARP tax health continues with a couple extra days added because of the massive demand for appointments. The West Branch will have rent-a-chicken display with live chickens on view as they get closer to hatching, with the chicks being borrowed from Brooksby Farm and in accordance with the Peabody Department of Health, so regular cleaning and no touching chicks and stuff like that. Senior South Branch Librarian Amy Titus reports that the South Branch Library will be hosting a collage workshop for adults presented by local artist Jessica Furtado on Thursday, March 30th. Due to many patron requests, toddler story times will take place every other Tuesday morning starting March 14th. This program will be for caregivers with children ages 2 to 4. And last but certainly not least, the 5th annual Peabody Seed Library will open at all 3 locations on Monday, March 20th. This year we have over 5,000 packets of vegetable, herb, and flower seeds available for patron, and anyone may take up to 5 veggie and herb packets and 5 flower packets per visit. This year's Peapod is generously sponsored by the Rotary Club of Peabody. Budget. The current budget is provided, nothing is of concern. My budget request for FY24 is due to the Finance Department by March 24th. The Mayor has requested that departments prepare a level funded budget with the addition of please add budget adjustments that address mission critical needs and inflationary factors, so we can discuss possible additions during a budget meeting with the Mayor. I plan on requesting the addition of 1 senior marketing and outreach librarian and 1 West Branch children's librarian, both of which are critical to ensuring that our library increase its reach, programs, and services outside of our 3 buildings, 12 walls, and increase its services to children in West Peabody as it was requested on an almost daily basis. And then policy, I'm asking for the approval of changes to 3 policies, and they're all small policy changes. Number 1, the internet access policy. It basically combines the current internet use and then separate wireless network access policies. And has no content changes other than deleting extraneous language and duplicated statements. And our old one used to have a definition of what the internet was, so we updated them a little bit. 2 library loans outside of Massachusetts networks. This replaces our old interlibrary loan policy, as that old policy name was misleading. This is a policy that is for using WorldCat, which is basically any book that we can't get anywhere in Massachusetts. This is outside of Massachusetts networks. Whereas interlibrary loan as a name for the policy was misleading because that implied interlibrary loan among like local libraries. So we're just cleaning up the language. And then the third one, the photography and videography policy, adds the highlighted sentence, which says, under no circumstances can anyone take a photograph, video recording, or audio recording of another library patron without the consent of the patron, or if a minor, their parent or guardian.
Mhm.
And then the meeting room policy will finally be ready to be approved at our April 3rd meeting. That's it.
Any question for director?
Yes.
You said I've accepted the proposal for a full appraisal. Are you talking about, like the fee and all that?
Yep, that's-
what you meant.
Our entire collection. That's the Audubon, that's the Queen, that's everything in the vault. That's it's a really varied and quirky collection that we own. So it's going to be about $12,000 total for the appraisal, just for insurance purposes, as it involves multiple specialists coming in to get like a paper specialist, a firearms specialist for our blunderbuss.
Right.
Um,
Who's paying for that?
State aid will pay for it. The city pays for the premiums and pays for the actual insurance policy currently. So we are putting in state aid to pay for the appraisal, and then with the assumption that the city, because I've been discussing this with the city auditor, she knows we're doing this.
Yeah.
The assumption that the city will pick up the extra cost of what we assume is higher premium.
You probably told us that.
And that map up here too, will that be?
Yeah. There's our current insurance policy is, our finance insurance policy is woefully undersized and does not include what it should. So it will be much more expensive, but in a good way, because things will be covered against future disasters.
Question to the chair. I'm reading the language here and I see mission critical needs.
Yes.
What isn't mission critical? I think the budget's pretty whittled down as it is right now.
Right. So the mission critical is the two positions I'm going to request. It's the senior level marketing and outreach position. That basically gives us, we do a lot of really good stuff in-house, and we're doing more and more outreach, and we have more and more requests for outreach every week that we just simply don't have enough people to do.
So this is the outreach person.
This is the outreach, and this is also
Gotcha.
marketing, because we do good stuff, and then people
Yep.
say, how come we didn't know about that?
That's fantastic.
So we need somebody to get the word out and take what we're doing outside of our 12 walls and out into the community.
This would be great for them.
It would be. And
Sure.
the outreach that we're doing now, that my staff is doing now at the at Brooksview Village, at the schools, we have our staff out of the building a lot, and they want to be out of the building more. And so the idea of this person is that they will do a lot of the outreach, and then there's going to be one central person to also coordinate where everybody else is going. So it's not this kind of hodgepodge of people just going where their interests take them. And then the West Branch Children's Librarian position used to exist. It was downsized over the years, and then during COVID, we cobbled together two positions to become our senior local history librarian, which had always been part-time. And I think we could all agree that Catherine's position as local history librarian is incredibly crucial to this library. And we've done so much to preserve and conserve everything that we have and really share it with the community. But we have a huge and growing need for children's programming and somebody to purchase the collection at the West. Right now, our senior children's librarian here is doing both, which is not tenable. We need somebody full-time at the West Branch to do with all the kids out there and the bigger collection, and to really focus on the needs of the West Branch patrons. So I argue that those two are very mission critical for what
Yeah,
we're
they
trying
Right,
to do.
right. And I was looking at more of these ad budget adjustments, meaning adjustments always means to be in business. So that's what I was thinking. There's nothing really that we can cut.
There's nothing.
Right.
The
Running on a shoestring.
the first-
here.
we are, and the first part of that statement from the finance department did say that the mayor specifically requested everybody prepares level funded budgets, which is doable. And so I will stick to the level funded for everything else, and a little bit small adjustments within light items as things are overspent, underspent. But I think the addition of these two positions is really critical too. We can keep the lights on, we can keep things on a even keel right now and keep going in a straight line, but we are leaving thousands of dollars of grant money on the table every year. We're leaving outreach on the table and marketing. There's so much more that we could be doing, and these two people will really let us do, I think, what we are capable of doing.
You get more than you're asking for this way.
So
Thank you.
Kate, will these two positions do anything to alleviate the problem of having to close the branches?
absolutely.
It will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, every,
The staffing level.
yes. We were understaffed for aides for a while because we had a bunch of people leave and then we were trying to fill positions and it's a slow process. Right now, we are basically fully staffed right now. And I think everybody is giving a little bit of a sigh of relief, not because we're able to do more, just because there's less of a scramble every day. And so with 2 full-time people added, that would do a great deal, especially having 3 full-time people at the West Branch as opposed to 2 full-time people means the West Branch will be more consistently staffed with people that are there more, which then frees some aides up to go cover other places. And then when people take vacation, it just more full-time people is best. I don't think part-time people would do a lot of good these days because a lot of part-time people are incredibly useful for being able to fill in, but we need more full-time people to work on long-term projects and initiatives and big stuff. So I think life would be a lot better for everybody, patrons and the public and staff sanity. With 2 more full-time people.
Well, another question is this Winston Art Group.
Yes.
Well, who are they and what are their credentials and why did you decide to engage them?
So they were suggested to me by the city auditor. I had reached out. We've been having discussions back and forth about our fine arts insurance policy. I had requested it. Whenever we send the Audubon prints out to get served, we have to give the conservation company called a waiver of subrogation, which basically says like they take over the insurance, like their insurance covers our print while they hold it, and then it comes back on our policy when we get it, basically. And so in this, giving them the waiver last a year ago, realized that our fine arts insurance policy had the city changed insurance holders during COVID, and our fine arts policy had somehow not transferred along with that to this new company. So we had to go through getting a whole new fine arts policy about a year and a half ago. And then I looked at the policy and realized it's not even a matter of what's on it, it's a matter of what's not on it, because most things we own are not separately covered. So I had asked the finance department and auditing department, what do I do? How do I go forward on this? And she had suggested 2 or 3 companies, and only 2 responded to my request. And this Winston Art Group, we went back and forth a lot. They gave me a proposal. I thought I needed to get multiple quotes. I went to the city purchasing department and he said, this is something that is very specific in terms of the knowledge and the expertise that's needed, especially because they are a really big company. So they do have a firearms expert and a paper expert and a jewelry expert. They have all this expertise that we would have to call in otherwise. So it's kind of one-stop shopping with them. And they were suggested by the city for.
Are they local?
They're out of New York, but they have a New England office. So I think their paper specialist is going to have to take Amtrak in from New York, but everybody else is local, or we will just be sending lots of pictures and documentation. It should be kind of neat because it's appraisal for not historical purposes, just for insurance purposes. So it's a little bit different way to look at it, but I think it'll be good for us to get an idea of what we have, what it's worth, how to protect it. So expensive, but exciting and necessary.
Rich, can I jump in? I have one question on
Yep.
this World Cat.
Yes.
So is that every country in the world or is that certain countries? And what happens if we send it to the Philippines or something and we never see it again?
That's kind of, I think that,
They're gonna put you on a plane, you can go get it.
right,
I'll give you a list of countries I will go and.
right, yeah. I think that's the kind of the same gamble that we take with lending our book out to anyone. I mean, we're obviously, most of the books that, when we request a book through World Cat, say from like North Dakota, they are under no obligation to send the book. Like they have every right to say like, that can't go out of library or out of state because of,
Okay,
like the condition it's in, or it's really rare or something. There's no, when we upload our records to World Cat, it says like, loanable, not loanable, requestable, not requestable. And we have every right to say like, I'm sorry, we can't loan that out because it's too expensive or it's too rare or something like that.
okay,
So
thank you.
hopefully it would not be an issue.
Kate, they said they wanted to level fund the budget.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of challenging because naturally salaries and wages are going to go up every year?
Well, yeah, the level funding doesn't really, it's not really the same number. It's level funding in that it's, includes the cost of living increases for current staff. It's more like the salary goes up as needed to cover like contractual raises. And then, but the line items below it, like materials and operating and stuff, that stays the same. That's how we kind of define level funding. Because the rest of that sentence also includes like when it talks about inflation, that also means that there's a further sentence in the letter that says like, inflation for salaries for cost of living increases. That's what we're dealing with the union right now. We're negotiating the salaries for the next 3 or 4 years. So it'll go in there as well. It's just the other stuff that can't really touch like the budgets for outside expenses and for books and utilities and stuff like that. That has to stay the same.
No, go ahead.
Is this, are these, what percentage are these two positions going to bring into an increase to your budget?
I have not gotten that far yet. No.
And is this a surprise? Has there been like a hint that you're going in this direction to hire?
I know that Tom and I had mentioned last year that we really need this marketing
Okay.
position. The children's librarian one is within the last year, it's clearly become necessary based on
Okay.
what we cannot give to West Peabody right now.
I was just wondering if you have an idea of how it will be received.
I don't.
Okay.
And the other thing, if I might add, it's taken away from the duties from the staff here at the library, from doing really important things like writing grants.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. She said, yeah, you're losing money.
I think that's a huge thing.
Can I have a motion to accept the director's report?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so on to the committee reports. So our first one, Audubon, Tom.
Nothing to report at this time.
Okay, buildings and grounds, Rick.
Nothing further than the director's report.
All right, personnel.
Nothing further than the director's report.
All right, policy and procedures.
Nothing beyond the director's report.
Okay. Foundation.
We just completed our meeting prior to this meeting, so to review, date is April 28th for our evening event. We decided from 6 to 8 are going to be the hours of the event. We're working on, we have a couple of speakers, one speaker, TK, a representative from TKN would be able to join us. We just worked out some of the details, but if you want to add that to your calendar, it's going to be from 6 to 8 on the 28th, and then the open family event will be, the free event will be the next day, Saturday, the 29th. Tickets on Friday night will be $50 per person, and we really want to hit hard on the PR. So start letting your friends and family know to save the date.
You said 55.
50.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And I will have marketing material to send out to everybody and physical copies if you can come pick them up. There will be more information later this week on how we're gonna get out the word about
Work in
this.
progress, but it's looking great.
And Peabody Historical Society.
Last week, the society had a lecture up at the Smith Barn, given by a genealogist from the New England Genealogical Historical Society, whatever. It's really very, very interesting. It was well attended. And the next lecture, I don't have the date, sometime in April, the history of Jordan Marsh. And I've seen this presentation some years ago. It was fascinating. And the fellow actually handed out the recipe for blueberry muffins.
Very muffins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
So I'll get the date to you, Sarah. That's the recipe, right?
Try making it. Marsh, but I've tried making it many times.
Yeah. So that's what's going on at the moment.
All right. Can I have a motion to accept the reports of the committees?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Unfinished business.
I just have a quick update on the George Peabody medals. It's been a long road of slow communication. And unfortunately, the woman who works for Justice, who we're working with to shift, she had a family event that just took her away and wasn't able to reply. But we did find out that so many years ago, prior to the pin that they use currently, there was another pin that is much more likable, I think, and meets the needs of us for now. And it's a coin, it has a small ribbon attached to it, and it has George Peabody's name on it and all that good stuff. So we're gonna go with that for now because it's ready and we don't have to remake the wheel. We have got the wheel. So, but we will discuss creating that new medal with the face and the likeness of George Peabody that we all want. But at least we're moving in the right direction, and we'll have something for this year that's, I think, more towards what everybody expects. So
Awesome, thanks.
So
On that same note, I don't want to steal thunder here, but before we get to that time for the June graduation, is there someone from the board that's going to represent the board at that meeting? It should be the president.
What meeting?
And I'm sorry, on the graduation.
Yeah, so I've been in communication with Stephanie Dowling about that as well. And the current principal is Brooke Randall, and she really wants to leave it up to us. So typically the president goes. If the president can't go, you would ask someone else to go. I think it's up to us if you want to do it at convocation or if you want to do it at graduation where you actually give out the medals. We are going to continue to have our ceremony here, like we always did in the Sutton Room, where we, honor the 8 recipients. But as far as giving out the actual medal and pinning it, I think we have to have a discussion as to what the expectation is of the board. Think about that. Maybe next time we can talk about that, but it's coming up because convocation, all that's the end of May. And I don't know what the actual graduation date is on the calendar this year. Do you know, Jen?
Yeah.
So it's always very early June or end of May, so it's coming quickly. And the person that does the event, whether it's convocation or graduation, you don't have to stay for the whole time because graduation's long.
Oh, yeah.
And it can be hot or whatever. You can attend just to do
June 2nd.
June 2nd. You can go and do your part and leave, stay. And it's usually toward the beginning, which is nice.
Mind you, when you're on stage in the middle of the field, you can't hide when you're walking.
It's my biggest fear, graduation. All right, perfect. So new business, if we have some motions, I know we have something to keep report.
I would like to make a motion that the Peabody Institute Library have an all-staff training and open late on Tuesday, June 20th, to allow for the staff training.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Right. Thank you.
And then the 3 small policies.
Yeah, it's the internet access policy.
May I make a motion?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to accept this policy on photography and videography. Presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
We have the first 2 done.
And I'd like to make a motion to make the policy, the updated policy for library loans outside of Massachusetts networks.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'd like to make a motion to accept the internet access policy.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. Any other? I think that's it for the business. All right, our next meeting will be on the 3rd, 6:30. It'll be nice light out. So that's
I didn't say, excuse me, jump in, this meeting for the foundation events, if anyone is interested in coming, is going to be Wednesday, March 22nd. Sorry, I didn't say that.
No, it's okay. All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.